Okay, you invested in your people, not just money, but time and attention. And you brought people in and you sent some people out. You built frameworks, created great expectations. You wanted them to learn, to grow, to step up, to own their results. And for a while, something did shift. Maybe it was the energy in the room. Maybe it was a new language you started using. People talked about things differently. And then a month later, we were back to normal. I worked in corporate before I built my own business, and the president was a reader. He was a genuine learner, someone who genuinely believed in developing his people. Every few months, he'd discover something. Maybe it was a book or a speaker or a framework, and he'd bring it in. Full company, 1-day workshop, 100 and some people. One time it was Effective Request. Oh, then Who Moved My Cheese? That was a great book. And Fish. Yeah, that book too. Good to Great lasted a bit longer. We did talk about hedgehogs for about 6 weeks instead of the usual month, but nothing actually changed. And after a while, the employees, okay, me included, we had a name for it. Hey, it's another book of the month. It's not because we were cynical. It's because we'd watched the pattern enough times to know how it ended. Have you heard that phrase in your company? Maybe not out loud, but have you felt it? Stephen Covey says if you want small changes in your life, work on your behavior. If you want significant changes, work on your paradigms. What layer was the training aimed at? It's usually the action layer. Training lands there. It changes what people know how to do, maybe even what they're motivated to do for a while. But the thought at the foundation of the pyramid, it keeps running. We've been using the example of the boss makes the final decisions. The system kept teaching it. Every meeting, every review, every time an escalation got rewarded with an answer. The training gave them new skills. The architecture gave them the same signal. Which one do you think won? Peterson says, today's problems come from yesterday's solutions. Maybe the training wasn't the wrong idea. Maybe it was just aimed at the wrong layer. Every time I go into a company where a training initiative faded, and I've seen it, again, more times than I can count, I find the same thing. The skills landed, but the system that encompassed these skills didn't change, and the system outlasted the training because the system runs every single day. The workshop, it ran once. What wins when those two things compete? See, underneath the training, underneath the frameworks, underneath the expectations is a system we will take a look at in the Quick Start call. So what would have to be different for the training to stick? If the system keeps teaching one thing and the training teaches another, what happens to the person who's caught in the middle? Maybe they try for a while to keep up with the training and do what they were trained to do. Maybe they revert. Sadly, maybe they leave. What have you seen in your organization? So what if the question isn't, how do we train better? What if the question is, what is the system teaching that training keeps fighting against? What would have to change in the system, not the training, for the behavior to actually hold? Again, that's what I offer the Quick Start call for, because that's what it maps. Not what training you need, not what other course or book of the month, but what the system is teaching that keeps undoing it. See, delegation didn't hold. Better people didn't fix it. And the training that you've invested in has also faded. Not because you didn't try hard enough, not because your people weren't capable, but because the fixes were aimed at the wrong layer of the tear model. So what does fix it? That's what lesson 4 is about. And it's not what most CEOs like you expect. So if you're watching this and the pattern is becoming clearer, click the link below and book your quick start call now. I'll see you in lesson 4.